Close your eyes and notice how the clock on your wall seems to be pulsing rather than ticking. You feel a heavy, metallic taste at the back of your throat as the very air in your room begins to thicken. This is the weight of a reality that has outgrown its own skin. Within the next 48 hours, the floor beneath your feet will no longer feel like solid wood or stone. You have been running on a treadmill of positive affirmations that left your spirit exhausted and your pockets empty. You wake up at 3 a.m. with a racing heart, searching for a crisis that isn't actually there. The pattern is familiar. A surge of hope followed by the crushing return of the same old limitations. You manifest a few dollars only to lose them to an unexpected bill before you can even breathe. This isn't bad luck. It is a mismatch between your frequency and the world you are trying to inhabit. Your nervous system is currently a high-tension wire vibrating at a pitch your ears can't quite catch yet. You look in the mirror and see a stranger whose eyes are pleading for a rest that sleep cannot provide. Your body feels like a house with too much electricity running through outdated wiring. Something is pushing against your ribs. A restlessness that makes you want to crawl out of your own skin. You've spent years following gurus who promised that love and light would fix your broken finances. But those words feel like dry sand in your mouth now. You are tired of being a spectator in a life that was supposed to belong to you. The 48-hour window is not a gift from a distant god. It is a collision of timelines. It is the moment when your internal pressure finally breaks the dam of your habitual excuses. Imagine a laser beam cutting through a dark prism, separating every lie from the core of your being. You feel a tightening in your stomach because you know that what comes next cannot be undone. The acceleration is an intensity, a sharpening of the world until every shadow becomes clear. You've been living like a flickering candle, easily extinguished by the slightest wind of opinion. Now, the wind is becoming a gale, and you must decide if you will be the storm or the debris. Your pets might be acting strange, or the lights in your house seem to pulse with a life of their own. These are not coincidences. They are the friction of two worlds rubbing against each other. One world is built on the logic of survival and the endless grind of effort. The other world is based on the logic of presence and the recognition of what is already here. You are currently caught in the gears of the transition, and it feels like being torn apart. Your old techniques for getting what you want are failing because they were built for a dead reality. You keep trying to get more, but the universe is trying to force you into everything. And everything requires you to be nobody first. It is a terrifying paradox that makes your palms sweat and your breath grow shallow. The sensation is like the ground beneath you turning into deep, dark water. You keep reaching for a shore that is also moving away from you. You are being asked to swim in the frequency of the unknown without a map or a compass. The 48 hours represent the threshold of your own tolerance for being small. You can feel the static in your ears getting louder, a hum that vibrates in your very teeth. This is the sound of your old identity disintegrating. You've spent your life trying to attract the right people, the right car, the right job, but you never stopped to ask why you were repelling the person you were meant to be. The acceleration is a stripping away of the masks you wore to feel safe. It is a practical pain, like a toothache that finally demands you look at the decay. You can't manifest a new life while you are still defending the version of you that failed. Every time you say, "I'll try," you are actually announcing your fear of success. The breakthrough you want is being blocked by the person who is currently asking for it. This is the first crack in the wall of your most cherished beliefs. You don't need to attract anything from the outside. You need to stop pushing the truth away. The air is getting thinner, and the old excuses are no longer providing enough oxygen for your ego. You feel a mounting pressure in your chest, a silent scream for something real. Most people will spend the next 48 hours complaining about the weather or their boss. They will miss the moment because they are waiting for a loud trumpet in the sky. But the acceleration is quiet, like a shadow moving across a sundial. It is a shift in the way your blood feels as it moves through your veins. You are beginning to realize that the person you were yesterday is already a ghost. The urgency you feel is not about a deadline. It is about a destination. You are being rewired for a world where your attention is the only currency that matters. If you spend that currency on outrage and fear, you will remain bankrupt in a land of gold. The gurus told you to just believe, but they didn't tell you how to stop doubting. They gave you a hammer, but didn't show you the nails of your own sabotage. You are standing at the edge of a cliff, and the wind is pushing you toward the sky. This is the moment where the training ends and the lived experience begins. You can feel the heat in your palms getting stronger. Your heart beats with a rhythm that seems to echo the entire planet. This is not a tutorial on how to get rich. It is an invitation to be sovereign. Sovereignty means no longer being a puppet of your own reactions. The next 2 days will be a mirror that shows you exactly where you are lying to yourself. If you look away, the acceleration will only feel like chaos. If you look closely, it will feel like the most natural thing in the world. You've been waiting for a sign, and here it is. The discomfort you're feeling right now. That discomfort is the proof that you are still alive inside the matrix. The 48-hour window is a compression of time designed to force a choice. You can stay in the loop of someday, or you can step into the now. Someday is a graveyard where dreams go to rot. Now is the only place where the frequency of creation actually lives. The static is reaching a fever pitch, and you have to decide if you will listen to the hum or the silence. But wait, look at the way you are actually processing these words right now. The uncomfortable truth is that you are already interpreting this message through the exact lens of lack that caused your stagnation. This acceleration isn't a mystical event arriving from the sky to save you from your life. It is a radical shift in your internal governance, a reordering of how you direct your own attention. What you call cosmic energy is actually the sharpening of your mental focus into a singular, unwavering point. The breakthrough you seek is not a destination you reach, but a posture you adopt within your own mind. Without this internal pivot, the next 48 hours will only amplify the noise you've been trying to escape. Have you ever felt like something deep inside you just doesn't fit into this world anymore? It's as if your soul knew a truth that your mind hasn't found a name for yet. It isn't just stress, and it isn't just a bad week. It's a signal. What is happening right now on a cosmic level explains that strange pressure you've been feeling in your chest. There is a massive game being played in layers that most people never even notice. This game involves your very consciousness and the vibrational frequency you carry every day. Think about it. What if all that strangeness and that silent certainty that there must be more was actually proof? Proof that you aren't just watching this story unfold, but that you are a central part of it. This is exactly why I prepared the great spiritual game behind your consciousness. This book isn't just another digital download. It is a map I made for those who have finally woken up enough to know that reality is deeper than what we were taught. It's for those who are done with shallow answers and are ready to understand the hidden rules of perception. You can find the link to download this book in the first pinned comment right below this video. But I have to be direct with you. This knowledge doesn't always stay available. There are narratives in this world that many want to keep exactly as they are, and there have been attempts to keep this information quiet before. Don't wait for a better time to look into this. The right moment is this very second, because you didn't click on this video by mistake. Download it now, read with an open heart, and if something inside you recognizes the truth on those pages, let me know. Write a single word in the comments, Desperto. That signal of being awake is just the first tremor of a deep friction between your soul and your current operating system. Your mind has a built-in defense mechanism designed to keep you within the predictable boundaries of your past. This resistance doesn't scream at you with a stranger's voice. It whispers in the comforting tone of your own common sense. You believe you're being cautious, but you're actually being managed by a program that fears your expansion. This is the real game happening in the silent corridors of your daily routine where you feel most safe. Look closely at the way you process a new opportunity or a moment of sudden clarity. Your mind immediately offers you a list of logical reasons to wait for a more stable moment. It tells you that you need more information, more preparation, or more evidence before you can truly commit. This feels like care, like protecting yourself from a mistake, but it is actually a mechanism of total control. It is the matrix using your own desire for safety to strangulate your capacity for immediate recognition. Notice the cold weight of your phone in your palm every time you feel a surge of internal restlessness. You reach for a screen to numb the discomfort of the frequency shift that is trying to move through you. This micro-behavior is a pressure valve, releasing the very energy you need to break through the old ceiling. You think you are staying informed, but you are actually entraining your brain to remain in a state of reaction. Every notification is a hook that pulls your attention away from the quiet center where your power resides. The mind loves the noise because in the noise, it doesn't have to face the silence of its own obsolescence. This is how the sabotage remains hidden. It disguises itself as necessary engagement with the modern world. You are being prompted to outsource your authority to a collective that is still deeply asleep. You ask for advice from those who haven't even seen the door you are currently standing before. You hope they will give you permission to wake up when they are the ones who benefit most from your slumber. If you are feeling a specific, sharp resistance in your chest right now, it is because your presence here is no accident. This message appeared to you because your internal field has finally reached a state of readiness that can no longer be ignored. The old system is panicking because it knows its reign over your perception is coming to an end. It will try to convince you that this is just another video, another fleeting thought in a busy day. It wants you to categorize this as interesting information rather than an urgent call to internal realignment. This is the subtle art of the trap, making the extraordinary feel common so you don't take the leap. You have become so familiar with the weight of your own limitations that freedom feels like a threat to your survival. Look at your hands again. Feel the pulse in your fingertips as the blood moves through a body that is changing. You are not a machine, yet you have allowed your reactions to become entirely mechanical. The mind offers you planning, when what you really need is the courage to inhabit the present moment. It keeps you focused on the how, so you never have to fully commit to the who you are becoming. This is the paradox. The mind uses your intelligence to build a more sophisticated prison for your spirit. It creates a version of spirituality that is safe, slow, and perpetually stuck in the stage of preparation. You spend years getting ready for a life that you are already supposed to be living. This is not a slow climb. It is a sudden recognition of a height you have already reached. Can you feel the difference between the thought of change and the actual vibration of it in your skin? Most people stay in the thought because the thought is controllable and requires no real movement. The system rewards you for thinking about freedom while you continue to obey the laws of the cage. It encourages you to manifest better things within the same old identity of the one who lacks. But you cannot manifest a new reality with the same nervous system that is bracing for impact. The brace itself is a signal to the universe that you still believe you are under attack. And as long as you act as if you are under attack, the world will continue to provide the enemies. This is the circular trap of the reactionary mind. Always defending, never creating. Now, we are going much deeper into the root of who is actually living your life. This is the part where the logic of the world fails and the logic of the soul takes governance. We are moving toward the realization that your identity is not a fact, but a choice you make every second. There is a structure to this internal sabotage that we map out in the material I prepared for you. It shows you the threads before they pull you back into the automated loop of your past. You are beginning to see that the version of you that tries is the very one blocking the result. The acceleration of the next 48 hours is simply the world matching the intensity of this internal honesty. Are you noticing how your mind is already trying to plan what to do with this information? It wants to turn this into a project, a task, or a new rule to follow. This is the final layer of the sabotage, turning the cure into just another symptom of the disease. Stop trying to use this and start allowing it to reorganize the way you breathe. The governance of your own consciousness is the only authority that cannot be corrupted or hacked. Everything else is just a shadow on the wall of a cave you have already left. You are not going back to the old state because that state no longer has the density to hold you. There is a depth to this shift that your intellect cannot manage, and that is why the material I've organized is vital for this stage. It provides the architecture for a mind that is no longer content with being a spectator of its own life. We are reaching the core where your identity and the fabric of reality become indistinguishable. You are about to discover that the person you were defending was the only thing keeping you small. The next layer of truth is about to be revealed, and it requires you to be completely still. Listen to the silence behind my voice. That is where the real transmission is happening. Your journey is moving from the world of shadows into the world of absolute, radiant clarity. Don't look away now. The most important part of the journey is just beginning. Your soul is finally ready to claim its true name far beyond the scripts of this matrix. Everything you thought was yours was just a borrowed mask for a game that is ending. Now, the real life begins. We are entering the foundation, the very soil where your life either blooms or decays into nothingness. You have looked at the sabotage, but now you must look at the one being sabotaged in this game. Everything you see around you is held together by the glue of who you think you are today. If you don't change the core, You are just rearranging the furniture in a house that is currently burning. The who is the center of the storm, the steady point where your entire reality is either born or killed. Your identity isn't some grand mystical concept found only in ancient texts or the depths of long, deep meditation. It is the simple, heavy feeling of what you find absolutely normal on a random Tuesday afternoon at home. It is the way you walk into a room and expect to be treated by people you have never met. You don't realize that your self-image is a set of lines you refuse to cross because of old fears. These lines define the borders of your reality, and you guard them like a fortress against any real change. Identity is the collection of habits you no longer notice because they have become your second thick skin. It is the automatic no you say to a dream because it feels too heavy for you to carry. You believe you are choosing your life, but you are mostly choosing what feels familiar and safe to you. Familiarity is the narcotic that keeps the soul trapped in a loop of comfortable, predictable misery every single day. Your world responds to your comfort level, not to your desperate prayers for something better than what you have. There is a vast, silent gap between desiring a result and recognizing that result as yours in this space. Desire is the frequency of someone who is standing on the outside looking in through the cold glass. When you want something, you are announcing to the universe that you currently lack that very thing in life. You are practicing the state of not having every time you dream about the someday that never arrives. The universe doesn't hear your words. It mirrors the state of lack you're radiating through your nervous system. Recognition, however, is the quiet sigh of knowing that a thing is already a fundamental part of you now. It feels like picking up your own keys from the table. There is no excitement, only a calm certainty. You don't have to struggle to manifest your own hands. You simply move them because they belong to you. Your life changes when your goals move from the category of dreams to the category of current belongings. Until a result feels normal to you, your nervous system will find a way to reject it as a threat. Your automatic reactions are the data points that reveal exactly who you believe you are in this grand game. If someone criticizes you and you immediately defend yourself, you are proving you feel small enough to be hurt. If a bill arrives and you panic, you are affirming an identity defined by scarcity and a constant threat. You can't fake this frequency with positive thinking or colorful visualizations while your gut feels tight with worry. Your body is the honest witness to the scripts you are actually running beneath the shallow, conscious surface. Coherence is the law that dictates your life must always match the story you tell in the dark. The world is a mirror that never lies, showing you the reflection of your deepest and most hidden familiarities. If your life is chaotic, it is because there is a part of you that feels at home in chaos. You seek the drama because without it, you wouldn't know how to define yourself in the heavy silence. We are addicted to our problems because our problems give us a sense of solid, predictable weight in time. Breaking this coherence feels like a death because it truly is the end of a person you once were. You must be willing to let the version of you that is used to struggling finally expire and fade. This is the task for the weak. It requires a surgical detachment from your own personal history and pain. You are not your past mistakes, yet you wear them like heavy medals of honor in your daily life. Stop identifying with the struggle and start identifying with the silent awareness that witnesses the struggle every day. Manifestation isn't a magical act of pulling things out of thin air to satisfy a hungry small ego. It is the natural consequence of an identity that has become compatible with a higher frequency of existence. When you change, the who, the what, has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your new state. You don't attract wealth. You become a person who considers abundance to be the only logical reality possible. The shift happens in the marrow of your bones, not in the clouds or some distant imaginary future. This transformation of your inner root is a journey that most people fail to even begin in their lives. They stay in the shallow waters of theory, afraid to dive into the actual mechanics of their own mind. You have reached a point where just listening to a voice is no longer enough to fix the friction. There is a specific structure to this hidden game that requires your full, focused attention to finally dismantle. It is a process that has already begun the moment you decided to look far beyond the veil today. Do not waste any more time living with the heavy sensation that your soul is still waiting for an answer. I invite you to take the next necessary step and download the digital book prepared specifically for your awakening. The Great Spiritual Game Behind Your Consciousness. This material provides the structural foundation you need to finally stop the automated sabotage of your own life now. Simply watching these videos will not be enough to rewrite the identity programs that currently run your world every day. You need the complete architecture organized in those pages to navigate the transition that is already moving through you. If you ignore this impulse now, you risk falling back into old patterns and losing this rare moment of clarity. You can find the link to download the book directly in the first pinned comment right below this video. Accept this gift as the map it was meant to be and read it with the intent of total liberation. It is no coincidence that you have stayed this long. Your consciousness is ready to see the hidden rules. Download The Great Spiritual Game Behind Your Consciousness now and begin to play according to your own sovereign design. If your heart recognizes the truth in those words, let it be known by writing Desperto in the comments. Delaying this alignment only deepens the discomfort of living in a world that no longer matches your true frequency. Now that the path is clear, you must realize that you are the only one holding the pen today. The old identity will try to creep back in through the cracks of your old dusty habits and fears. It will wait for you to be tired or stressed or bored, and then it will offer the past. You must stay awake in the gap between the stimulus and your response to that stimulus in your life. Every time you choose a new reaction, you are carving a new neurological pathway into your own reality. This is the true meaning of discipline, not punishing yourself, but remembering what you truly want in the moment. Manifestation is actually the art of remaining unmoved while the world tries to convince you of a very loud lie. If you look at your bank account and see lack, you must be strong enough to see the illusion. The numbers are just a delayed reflection of a person you used to be 10 minutes or days ago. Your power exists in the present moment, where you decide which version of you is real and final. Stop waiting for the outside world to give you a reason to feel successful or loved or at peace. If you wait for the evidence, you are giving the world the power to dictate your internal state. Reverse the flow and decide that your internal state is the only authority that truly exists in this space. When you are solid in your new identity, the world has no choice but to bend to your weight. This is the weight of a consciousness that no longer needs permission from shadows to exist and thrive. Look at your life not as a series of events, but as a series of responses to your self-image. Every person you meet is playing a role that you assigned to them in your internal secret theater. If you want them to change, you must first change the script you have written for yourself in silence. You are the director, the actor, and the audience all at the same time in this grand cosmic play. It is a terrifying realization, but it is also the ultimate key to your absolute and total freedom. We are moving past the idea of getting and into the reality of being as a primary function. Getting is a struggle. Being is a state of grace that requires no effort from the small mind. You don't have to fight for what is already a fundamental part of your new, expanded, and radiant nature. The old world is based on competition, but the new world is based on the recognition of infinite source. You are a unique expression of that source, currently waking up to your own hidden and vast power. As you settle into this root identity, the things you once chased will begin to follow you instead. Magnetism is the natural side effect of a person who is no longer divided against their own heart. You become a steady point in a world that is spinning faster and faster into a state of chaos. People will look at you and wonder why you are so calm while the storm rages around them. They won't understand that you are no longer inhabiting the same timeline they are currently struggling in today. This is the final layer of the old self-image falling away to reveal the truth of your spirit. Manifestation is simply the moment the physical world catches up to the decision you made in the silence. You have already won the game. You are just watching the final scenes of the old movie play. Stay in the center, stay in the who, and watch as the new earth begins to bloom. The transition is complete the moment you stop asking for it and start living as it in peace. We are now ready to look through the final lens of clarity together to see the truth. The soil is ready, the seed is planted, and now you must choose your harvest with care. We have moved past the shallow waters of wanting and entered the deep currents of being. This is the moment where the training wheels of the ego are removed forever. You are ready to look through what I call the lens of direct recognition. This lens doesn't show you a new world. It clears the fog from the one you already inhabit. It is a precise framework that strips away the filters of your past conditioning. Stop for a second. Feel the temperature of the air as it enters your nostrils right now. Most of your life is spent in a state of internal contradiction. You say you want freedom, but you identify as someone who is trapped. You ask for wealth, but you vibrate with the fear of the next bill. These two signals cancel each other out in the fabric of reality. The secret isn't to work harder at your manifestations. It is to stop being the one who contradicts them. Recognition is not an action. It is a posture of the soul. Imagine a master pianist who doesn't look for the keys. He recognizes where they are because they are an extension of his own body. You must treat your desires with that same level of intimacy and familiarity. Your mind is addicted to intensity. It wants loud breakthroughs and dramatic signs from the sky. But the universe responds to stability. Stability is the calm water that can actually reflect a clear image. Intensity is just a spike in the old nervous system's addiction to stress. If you need it to be loud to believe it, you don't actually believe it yet. Listen to the silence behind my words. That silence is the carrier wave of all creation. Most people are afraid of that silence because they can't find their ego in it. The lens of direct recognition requires you to be comfortable with being nothing for a moment. In that nothingness, the contradictions finally stop. You are no longer trying to bridge the gap between here and there. You realize there is no gap. There is only the current state of your recognition. Think about a radio. It doesn't create the music. It just aligns its internal frequency to the broadcast. If the radio is full of static, the music is still there, but it can't be heard. Your internal contradiction is the static. You don't need to build a better radio. You need to tune the one you have and leave it on the right station. Stability is staying on that station when the wind starts to blow. It is a mature, quiet firming of the spirit. Many who have reached this point in the journey begin to feel a strange detachment. You look at your old dramas and they feel like a movie you've already seen. This isn't coldness, it is clarity. It is the result of looking through the lens and seeing the mechanics of the game. You see how people use their pain to define themselves. You see how you used to do the exact same thing. It's quite simple when you stop overcomplicating it. Look at a stone on the ground. It doesn't try to be a stone. It just is. Its power lies in its absolute stability. Your power lies in the absolute stability of your new identity. This is not for everyone. Most will prefer the roller coaster of hoping and failing because it feels more human. But you are moving beyond the standard human experience of lack. You are becoming a node of stability in a world of chaotic intensity. This is your true mission. It isn't to get the car or the house. It is to hold the frequency that makes those things inevitable. When the frequency is stable, the physical world has no choice but to crystallize around it. This is the law of the lens. Stop trying to do the law. Be the law. This requires a surgical honesty with yourself. Where are you still pretending to be small? What old story are you still telling when you think no one is listening? Those secret stories are the poison in your manifesting well. The lens of direct recognition burns those stories away. It is a laser-like focus on the truth of the present moment. You are not waiting for 48 hours to pass. You are spending 48 hours recognizing that time is an illusion. Everything is happening now. Your future is just a current state of being that you haven't fully accepted yet. Acceptance is the final piece of the puzzle. Not a passive acceptance of your current pain, but an active acceptance of your inherent power. Feel the weight of your body in your chair. Feel the reality of your own existence. That existence is the only proof you will ever need. We are stripping away the how because the how is none of your business. Your business is the who, and the who must be stable. If you keep changing your mind, you keep changing the reality. Pick a frequency and stay there, even when the bank account says something else, even when the body feels old, especially then. That is where the mastery is forged. In the fire of the contradiction, you choose the truth. This creates a friction that generates a different kind of heat. It is the heat of alchemy. You are turning the lead of your old reactions into the gold of conscious response. This shift is permanent. Once you see the world through the lens of direct recognition, you can never go back. You are no longer a victim of the game. You are the one who understands the code. Now, we prepare to integrate this vision into your very nervous system. The next step is the synthesis of everything we have covered. It is the moment where the logic becomes life. Pay attention, because your old world is about to disappear for good. The lens is focused, and now the weight of what you see begins to demand a complete internal restructuring. you are no longer observing a shift. You have become the very location where the shift is finalizing its work. Every moment you spend in contradiction now produces a physical sensation of heat within your own nervous system. This friction is the result of trying to hold a high-frequency truth inside a low-frequency habit. You cannot unsee the mechanics of the game, and that realization carries a heavy, sacred responsibility. Alignment is no longer a spiritual luxury for the curious. It is a structural requirement for your continued sanity. If you look at the truth and then act as if you are still small, you create a tear in your own field. This internal tear is felt as a sudden drop in energy or a wave of profound disorientation. It is the price of pretending to be blind when your eyes have already been opened by the light. Think about the gravity of your own attention in this precise second. Your focus is now a laser that either carves a path forward or burns the bridges you are standing on. The acceleration you were promised is actually the removal of the buffer between your thoughts and their physical results. There is no longer a long delay between a state of being and the world that mirrors it. This lack of latency is terrifying to the ego, but it is the ultimate freedom for the spirit. You are learning to walk without the safety net of excuses and the comfort of blame. The consequence of your awakening is the total loss of the ability to feel like a victim. When you know the source is internal, you can no longer point a finger at the shadows outside. This realization feels like a heavy silence that fills every room you walk into. You are becoming a walking frequency, a node of stability in a sea of collapsing illusions. Pause and feel the density of the air around your body right now. That density is the response of the physical world to the clarity of your internal decision. If you hesitate, the world around you will reflect that hesitation as chaos and sudden obstacles. If you align, the world will flow with a grace that seems almost impossible to the rational mind. This is the weight of mastery, knowing that you are the one holding the pen. Every reaction you have today is a vote for the reality you will inhabit tomorrow. You are not waiting for a solar flash to save you from your life. You are the flash, and your willingness to be honest is the ignition point. The 48-hour window is a pressure cooker designed to force the final choice between fear and presence. You can feel the old matrix pulling at your heels, trying to lure you back into the loop. It offers you the same old grievances and the same tired worries to keep you occupied. But those stories no longer have the same flavor. They taste like ash and hollow promises. Your spirit has outgrown the theater of struggle, and now you must inhabit the silence. Silence is the only place where the frequency of creation can be heard clearly. Most people flee from this silence because they cannot find their old selves within it. But you are learning to love the void, for it is the space where all potential lives. Alignment is the act of matching your breath to the rhythm of the infinite. It is a sober, quiet firming of the spirit that requires no outward display of effort. You don't need to shout your truth to the world. Your field will speak for you. The consequence of this stability is a magnetism that draws everything you need toward your center. You stop being the hunter and start being the one who recognizes the harvest. This is a radical reversal of the human experience as you once understood it. It is the difference between a puppet and the one who moves the strings. Every thought you have is a command to the quantum field to organize itself around you. If you are divided, Your world will be a fragmented mirror of that division. If you are whole, your reality will be a singular, radiant expression of that unity. The friction you feel is the last of the old identity burning away in the light. It is a holy fire, and you must be willing to let it consume everything that is false. What remains after the fire is the indestructible truth of your own eternal nature. You are discovering that you are not a body with a soul, but a spirit with a body. This perspective change is the final synthesis of all the logic we have explored. Listen to the hum of the universe in the back of your mind. That hum is the sound of the new earth being born within your own awareness. It is not a place you go to, but a frequency you allow yourself to inhabit. The transition is complete when you stop asking for it to happen and start living it. You are the bridge where the infinite enters the finite to transform it forever. The consequence of this transformation is a life that no longer follows the laws of entropy. You are moving into a state of renewal, where every breath feels like a fresh beginning. This is the real meaning of acceleration, the speed of your return to your own essence. It is the removal of the distance between you and the source of all things. You are standing at the center of your own universe, and the light is turning on. Every decision you make from this point forward has a profound and immediate weight. You can no longer afford the luxury of a stray thought or a lazy reaction. Discipline is the art of staying at the station of your highest recognition. It is a gentle, unwavering focus on the truth that is already vibrating in your marrow. The world will try to distract you with its loud crises and its colorful temptations. But you will look through them with the lens of direct recognition and see only shadows. Shadows cannot harm the light. They can only highlight where the light is missing. You are the one who provides the light, and your stability is the key to the shift. The 48 hours are a test of your ability to stay unmoved in the storm. If you can hold the frequency of peace when the world is panicking, you have won. This is not a battle against an enemy, but a commitment to your own radiance. The consequence of this commitment is a reality that bends to your higher intent. You will see doors open where there were only walls, and paths appear where there was only brush. This is the natural flow of a soul that has finally stopped fighting itself. You are the architect, and the blueprints are being written by your own heart. Breathe into the space behind your heart and feel the presence of the infinite. That presence is your real identity, far beyond the scripts of the small ego. You are relearning the language of creation, and it starts with a single, clear yes. Yes to the truth, yes to the light, and yes to the power that is yours. The old world is fading into a memory, a ghost of a dream you once had. You are waking up to a reality that is more vivid and more real than anything before. The consequence of this waking is the total transformation of your entire life. Your relationships will change, your work will shift, and your body will feel different. This is the physical proof that the acceleration is working through your own cells. You are no longer a passenger on this journey. You are the one driving the vehicle. Every choice you make is a movement toward the final synthesis of your spirit. The 48-hour window is closing, and the choice you made is already taking root. Trust the process, trust the light, and most of all, trust your own recognition. You are the master of the game, and you have finally understood the rules. The light is steady, the frequency is stable, and the world is waiting for you. Look at the horizon and see the dawn of the new earth in your own eyes. You are the dawn, and the darkness is simply the memory of who you were. The transition is over, and the lived experience of your own power has begun. Every step you take is a sacred act of creation in the middle of the void. You are the bridge, you are the light, and you are the source of it all. The consequence of this realization is a peace that passes all understanding. It is a quiet, powerful joy that fills your entire being with a radiant glow. You have arrived, and you are finally home within your own eternal soul. The game is over, and the real life is just beginning for you now. Stay in the silence and allow the final synthesis to complete its work in you. The 48 hours are not a distance you travel, but the settling of a new atmosphere you have finally allowed into your marrow. The clock on your wall hasn't changed its rhythm, but the one who watches it has been permanently replaced by a sovereign presence. Acceleration is simply the removal of the internal walls you once built to keep reality at a comfortable distance. You are no longer a passenger waiting for a destination to arrive. You have become the destination itself. The friction you felt throughout this journey was the last of the old logic trying to survive in a heart that no longer believes in ghosts. Clarity becomes inevitable once you stop using your vital attention to feed the shadows of your personal history. Your world will mirror your stability now because it has no other law to follow than your own recognition. This window was never a countdown for the universe, but a time frame for your own nervous system to accept its new weight. If you return to the old reaction, you return to the old world, and the weight of the matrix will settle back upon your chest. If you choose the silence, you choose the source, and the path will open before you as if it were always there, waiting. The breakthrough you were chasing was actually the person you had to stop being. You have reached the point where the mirror is finally clear of the breath of your own anxiety. Every thought you have now carries the weight of a command because you have stopped the internal division. This is the synthesis of the spirit and the body, moving as one singular radiant point of focus. You don't need to do anything to make the world change. You only need to remain unmoved in your truth. The consequence of this state is a life that flows with the effortless precision of a deep, silent river. You have seen through the game, and in seeing it, you have already won. The old world is fading behind you like a dream that no longer has the power to wake you. Your attention is your scepter, and you are finally holding it with a firm and steady hand. Listen to the stillness in the room right now. That stillness is the foundation of the new earth you are currently building with every steady breath. You are the architect of the light, and your stability is the key to the entire transition. The 48-hour window is closing, and what remains is the absolute truth of your own eternal nature. You have moved from the logic of effort to the logic of recognition, and the result is total freedom. This is not a peak experience that will fade, but a new baseline for your entire existence. The shadows are gone, the light is steady, and you are finally home within your own soul. The game of perception has ended, and the lived experience of your own power has begun in this very second. Trust the silence, trust the light, and trust the one you have finally become. Reality is not something that happens to you. It is a frequency you either inhabit or contradict. The breakthrough you were chasing was actually the person you had to stop being. In the end, this journey was never truly about a future acceleration. It was about how you perceive the stillness that is already here. If you choose to walk away now and let this frequency fade into the background noise of your old life, you may find that the door to this specific level of resonance does not open in the same way again. Some states of clarity are as fragile as they are powerful. The link to the next step of your journey is in the first pinned comment. I must warn you that this type of content rarely stays available for long, as it challenges the narratives that many have a deep interest in keeping intact. There have been attempts to silence this knowledge before, for its power to wake the spirit is undeniable. Do not wait for a better moment. The right moment is right now. You did not reach this message by accident. Your presence here is a direct result of your own internal readiness. Read what is on those pages with an open mind and a sober heart, for it contains the architecture of a reality that few are brave enough to face. If something deep within your chest recognizes the truth of what has been spoken here today, show your commitment to this new path. Leave a single word in the comments. Desperto. This word is the signal that your consciousness was prepared for this shift long before your mind even noticed the change. Stand in your power. Stay in the recognition and watch as the world rearranges itself to match the light of your own awakening.